Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu semuanya. Selamat datang di acara webinar MII bersama UIPATH. Sebelumnya terima kasih atas waktu yang disempatkan oleh Bapak Ibu sekalian untuk dapat hadir di webinar kali ini. Mungkin tanpa berlama-lama lagi, kita akan mulai ya webinarnya. Untuk Mbak Adel, boleh dipersilahkan.
Baik, thank you, Michelle. Baik, Bapak Ibu semuanya, selamat pagi. Terima kasih untuk waktunya di webinar hari ini. Perkenalkan, nama saya Adelia. Saya account eksekutif untuk UIPATH Indonesia. Dan di sini ada rekan saya juga, Haris. Dia adalah Director untuk Growth Product Solution Engineer Asia Pacific and Japan. Oke. Untuk webinar hari ini, kita akan membahas bagaimana solusi UIPATH itu bisa membantu efisiensi dan juga produktivitas proses-proses bisnis Bapak Ibu, dan juga salah satunya di SAP proses. Dan di sini mungkin saya mau perkenalkan dulu ya, apa sih itu automation dan apa itu solusi business automation platform dari UIPATH sendiri. Screen-nya udah kelihatan ya?
Sudah, Mbak.
Oke. Ya, jadi kalau kita bicara automation sendiri adalah kalau untuk robotic process automation itu merupakan suatu solusi software yang dimana dia bisa membantu otomasi proses-proses yang sifatnya repetitif, manual, dan volumenya cukup tinggi, ya kan? Dan biasanya itu proses-proses itu sudah memiliki SOP atau rule base yang sudah cukup jelas gitu. Nah, automation sendiri itu pun tidak hanya mencangkup di IT misalnya, karena banyak juga proses-proses yang masih sifatnya manual dan repetitif itu ada di seluruh departemen across enterprise ya, dan juga di seluruh lini industri. Jadi misalnya kalau kita di banking, paling banyak itu kita menemukan use case bank reconciliation, ya kan? Atau juga onboarding customer, KYC processes, dan juga di HR kita juga membantu otomasi proses dari sisi klasifikasi kandidat, dan juga payroll, dan juga contact center, bagaimana kita membantu mengotomasi supaya contact center itu pun bisa lebih cepat untuk merespon customer dengan mengotomasi integrasi-integrasi proses-proses yang ada dan menarik data yang ada untuk bisa diproses lebih lanjut. Jadi banyak banget sebenarnya use case dan proses-proses yang bisa dibantu oleh otomasi itu sendiri. Seperti itu. Nah, lalu UIPATH ini apa Bu Adel? Dia perusahaan apa gitu kan? Mungkin ada Bapak Ibu yang belum mengenal kami UIPATH. Jadi UIPATH itu sudah ada sejak tahun 2005 ya Bapak Ibu. Jadi udah sekitar 18 udah 18 tahun ya. Jadi kita sudah cukup mature company-nya. UIPATH itu didirikan di Romania oleh founder kami namanya Daniel Dines, dan Daniel Dines sendiri beliau sampai saat ini masih menjabat sebagai Chief Innovation Officer di UIPATH. Nah, UIPATH terus berkembang dari awalnya dia bikin solusi screen scraping, dia mengembangkan terus solusi-solusinya, dan kami juga sudah perusahaan kami juga sudah IPO berbasis headquarter di New York, dan kami pun terus berevolusi sampai kami memiliki full platform business automation platform secara end-to-end saat ini. Nah, kalau dilihat dari sisi footprint UIPATH secara global, UIPATH sendiri sudah memiliki lebih dari 10.850 customer secara global, dan lebih dari 3.800 customer kami sudah menggunakan UIPATH Cloud, ya kan, yang berbasis di cloud-nya UIPATH sendiri, dan itu memudahkan customer untuk bisa scale dengan lebih mudah dan juga tanpa perlu memikirkan scalability dari sisi on-prem dari customer sendiri. Nah, lebih dari 5.100 partner yang kami punya, termasuk salah satunya di Indonesia, partner unggulan kami itu Metro Data Electronics atau MII, dan juga sudah lebih dari 350 public sector atau government agencies yang menggunakan UiPath. Dan nanti kita lihat bagaimana UiPath itu menjadi leader di berbagai lini solusi selain automation. Nah, yang mungkin juga menarik adalah dari sisi komunitas, UiPath memiliki jumlah anggota komunitas RPA terbesar. Ya, jadi kita memiliki lebih dari 2 juta anggota komunitas. Kita ada namanya UiPath Community, ya kan? Itu tersebar lebih dari 200 negara. Di Indonesia pun kita juga memiliki UiPath Community, di mana di situ anggota-anggota komunitas itu bisa saling berbagi pengetahuan, saling bertanya, dan saling update mengenai automation dan juga UiPath. Nah, kalau tadi kita lihat ya, UiPath itu awalnya berdirinya itu mereka mulai dari robotic process automation, ngebantu mengautomate proses-proses yang manual repetitif tadi. Tapi itu memang membantu kan untuk mengefisiensikan kerjaan yang sifatnya itu cukup banyak gitu dan juga repetitif. Tapi nggak terlalu pinter nih, karena dia nggak bisa waktu itu membaca dari mana sih sumber-sumber data dan bagaimana kita bisa membantu memilah proses-proses mana aja yang bisa kita improve dengan otomasi. Nah, jadilah UiPath mulai memasukkan teknologi AI dan juga machine learning ke dalam solusi kami, dan kami terus mengembangkan solusi yang ada. Jadi sekarang kita memiliki full scale end-to-end business automation platform, di mana sekarang UiPath juga memiliki solusi untuk testing automation, baik itu untuk automate testing dari sisi RPA maupun aplikasi-aplikasi third party, mobile apps juga bisa, dan juga kita ada IDP, yaitu Intelligent Document Processing. Ini lebih dari OCR ya Bapak Ibu, kita juga bisa membantu mengenali dokumen itu, dokumen apa, mengklasifikasikan apakah itu invoice, ijazah, dan yang lain sebagainya, untuk bisa dilanjutkan diproses oleh robot yang ada, seperti itu. Jadi kita sudah memiliki end-to-end proses dari sisi discovery, untuk otomasi, dan juga untuk sisi governance-nya sendiri kita sudah lengkap. Lalu kenapa UiPath? Kenapa UiPath menjadi market leader gitu kan? Nah, kita dari sisi bisnis analis sendiri report, silakan Bapak Ibu lihat baik itu Gartner, Forrester, IDC maupun Everest, untuk automation market UiPath menjadi leader, sudah menjadi leader 5 tahun berturut-turut. Dan ada beberapa faktor. Pertama, dari sisi kemudahan penggunaan teknologi UiPath itu low code ya kan, dan juga mudah untuk di-scale. Dan kemudian dari sisi market share, UiPath merupakan perusahaan automation dengan market share paling besar secara global. Yang artinya adalah sudah banyak customer-customer yang membuktikan bahwa teknologi dan solusi UiPath membantu bisnis mereka secara end-to-end di organisasi mereka. Selain itu, untuk solusi-solusi lain seperti intelligent document processing, process mining, testing automation, dan juga low-code apps, UiPath sendiri pun sudah terbukti menjadi leader, ya kan? Kita sudah kita menjadi leader di IDP kategori terbaru dari Gartner dan juga Everest Group, dan kita juga terus mengembangkan teknologi-teknologi yang lain. Nah, dari sini Bapak Ibu nanti juga bisa melihat bagaimana Bapak Ibu bisa memiliki platform-platform dan solusi-solusi modul, baik itu testing automation dan low-code apps dari UiPath, bukan hanya RPA. Kalau kita bicara teknologi automation sendiri atau RPA sendiri adalah teknologi yang non-invasif, kita sebutnya. Artinya adalah teknologi tersebut itu bisa bekerja sama dengan existing sistem atau aplikasi yang mungkin sudah ada di tempat Bapak Ibu sekarang. Nah, UiPath sendiri sudah menjadi teknologi partner dengan berbagai macam teknologi company ya, yang commonly use juga kita temukan di customer kita, baik itu SAP, Salesforce, Oracle, dan juga misalnya Bapak Ibu ada VMware atau misalnya untuk Jira seperti itu kita sudah punya integrasinya dan secara API maupun teknologi kita sudah bisa compatible dengan teknologi-teknologi yang lain yang ada. Nah, di UiPath sendiri pun kita memiliki namanya UiPath Marketplace, di mana di situ Bapak Ibu bisa mendownload, ya kan, dan memakai workflow yang mungkin sudah disediakan, ya kan, dan sudah bisa dipakai. Jadi Bapak Ibu tinggal download, Bapak Ibu bisa pakai langsung workflow automation dari UiPath Marketplace. Jadi nggak semua proses itu harus dibangun dari nol gitu. UiPath menyediakan workflow yang Bapak Ibu bisa download secara gratis di UiPath Marketplace. Nah, untuk selanjutnya saya akan serahkan ke rekan saya Haris untuk menjelaskan lebih lanjut bagaimana teknologi UiPath itu bisa membantu proses dari discovery dan juga testing automation, terutama di SAP. Haris, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Adelia. Good morning and selamat pagi, everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar. I believe I'll try to make it interesting and slow my speed so that if you have any queries, maybe in the chat you can just ping. As I think as Adelia mentioned, right, UiPath is much more beyond RPA, traditional RPA, and that's what I would like to showcase today. Two of the products and our capabilities within SAP. So let me share my screen. I believe my presentation is visible.
Yes.
Yep. So my name is Harish. The last name is quite long, so Harish is fine. And I'm based in Singapore. Been with UiPath for a couple of years, and prior to that, I mostly led ERP consulting in APJ region for almost 2 decades. So I know this region well. I know I've done a few projects in Indonesia as well. So I know how the market is and understand the needs. So okay, let's start. Okay, so I think most companies or customers traditionally look at how do you kind of evolve in today's digital reality. I mean, you all know the buzzword of AI, chat GPT, generative AI, and so much being used off lately. And it's quite hard for customers to prioritize and think, where do I use, how do I use, and so on, right? So, but the basic premise is basically customers are looking into how do I kind of be productive, how do I minimize errors, how do I achieve some cost rationalization or increase my revenue and so on. So these are the basic premise where we generally see customers aspire to. I mean, this forms their business objectives, and that's where we come in and help. How do we kind of meet the business objective with the kind of automation strategy or IT strategy as a whole, right? So we believe, and I believe today's audience, I think most of the audience are familiar with SAP or probably using SAP or maybe other ERP or other systems, and see how UiPath can help kind of achieve these business objectives, right? So why SAP and UiPath? I think, I mean, in the couple of slides, I'll explain more about why UiPath and SAP is better for organizations, because we cater for enterprise-wide automation. I mean, we do SAP automation plus non-SAP applications as well. And then ours is first class or enterprise grade business process and test automation for SAP. Right, that's we have certified applications from SAP for our business platform, and you can also quick start with almost 200 plus out of box automations that we deliver, which is free to our customers, and then we have so many SAP customers in this region and globally that endorse why UiPath combined with SAP is definitely a good combination to achieve all the business objectives that you're intended to achieve. So in simple terms, the core benefits are, one is to boost productivity. This is achieved by eliminating errors or increase transparency and reduce tedious work. And the next one is achieving rapid return on investment. So this one is definitely, yeah, with flexible, and ours is kind of a non-invasive platform that helps you to scale and meet your needs as you grow. And of course, our platform is designed to automate end to end. So, I mean, of course, even if you start small, you can expand to grow to enterprise wide or an end to end automation. So that's where you would be able to achieve the necessary business objectives, right? So these are basically the core benefits of what we have seen from our customers as the most compelling factors. So when it comes to the platform itself, right? So this is a complete platform view that we have currently. As Adelia was showing our journey, where we started with basic RPA, UI-based automation, and then expanded to various others capabilities like API automation and discovery and using artificial intelligence within our platform. Right, so this is where we are, and this is still we are expanding to how do we kind of meet the current needs. For example, the use of large language models or generative AI. So that has been already embedded into our platform, right? So to give a brief about our platform, we start with the topmost area we call Discover as a pillar. So within Discover, we have products like process mining, task mining, communications mining, and idea capture management is basically we have task capture or automation hub, right? So all these um, products are designed to help you discover your automation initiatives or various other initiatives that meets your digital transformation needs, right? So process mining, I'll go in deeper. It's basically pulls in data from enterprise applications and build the process view, and then it has various KPIs and metrics within the dashboard that helps business users to understand how the processes are being executed. That's what process mining helps. Task mining kind of related to process mining. It looks like how employees perform their day-to-day activities on their desktops, right? That's where task mining helps. So it basically helps you to uncover repetitive nature of tasks done at desktop level, and which is basically looking at task level activities. And it uses AI machine learning model to kind of recommend the areas that can be automated, which are basically repetitive in nature. And communications mining is kind of a year-old product that we have. This basically looks at messages coming in from your emails or service tickets coming in from your ServiceNow or Salesforce or any other Jira kind of applications, and then use NLP or a large language kind of model to interpret the messages and find insights from it, right? That's what communications mining help. And all these can feed into a repository of ideas that we can collate within this uh, application called Automation Hub. And that helps organizations to look at all the ideas coming in from various sources and then prioritize what needs to be done, which are the initiatives that deliver most value and which are easy to achieve, right? So that's what the Automation Hub help. So this is what is about Discover pillar. And below that, we have, so all these ideas eventually what we recommend to for customers to achieve tangible benefits is when you kind of convert those ideas into automation, right? So that's why we have our automation, which is basically a low code development using our studio. And then we have the robots that does the UI or API automation. And then everything is orchestrated using our process orchestration, which is called as orchestrator. And then we also have embedded AI within our platform. We have intelligent document processing that helps extract information from various structured or semi-structured or kind of unstructured documents and use it in your automations. And all these are powered by our AI center. This is where the machine learning models are maintained. I mean, we deliver out-of-box machine learning model for various document extraction or even kind of simple text classification or regression kind of use cases. I mean, we have a whole lot of use cases using AI and ML within our platform. And all these are governed by the whole operate kind of pillar where we have analytics, where you can see how the automations are working. You can build your dashboards to analyze how the values have been derived. And of course, as part of Operate, we do have our testing as a capability, which I'll go through in the upcoming slides. And yeah, of course, unless you have enterprise grade management, governance and management and security, I mean, that's what customers look for. That's what we have. And of course, these can be deployed flexibly, right? Flexible means you can deploy it on our automation cloud as a SaaS platform, or you can deploy it on your own private cloud, which we offer it as automation suite, right? So this is a whole, I would say, the platform capability that we have right now. So the upcoming slides, I will go deeper into our capabilities in SAP and then also dig deeper into process mining. And then and in the end, we'll talk about test automation as well. Right. So a simple slide of why UiPath and SAP is better. Similar to the earlier slide of how UiPath helps organizations meet their business objectives. When it comes to specifically to SAP, we help definitely customers who are on a journey to move to S4HANA. With UiPath, we can accelerate the time it needs for you to, one is be prepared for S4HANA and also in the migration to S4HANA as well. So we have several use cases here. And of course, UiPath helps to integrate not just or automate within SAP, we help also integrate beyond SAP as well. And of course, we have a fast and proven pathways to our value. I mean, of course, we have a UiPath SAP partnership that recently got endorsed. So until recently, we were just SAP certified partner. But of late, we are also SAP endorsed apps. This is a premium certification that SAP provides to some of the technology partners whom they believe deliver value when we approach a customer together with SAP and UiPath. That's what SAP recognizes. And our products are kind of vetted or validated by SAP, and they are available in SAP store as well. I mean, some customers can buy directly from SAP store if they wish to, or of course, the other way is to approach our account executives and the partners, and we can help you to qualify what how you can achieve the transformation journey that you're wishing for. Right. And another slide, I just wanted to talk of how way we can help our SAP customers. So one thing that I mentioned of customers are planning to move to S4HANA. I believe if you're already using SAP, ECC or older version of S4HANA, I believe you would get regular updates from SAP indicating the timelines that you need to kind of migrate or move to S4HANA. This is there is a defined timeline for all customers to move from their older ECC or older S4HANA to a newer platform. And this requires the customers to achieve something called as a clean core. This is a strategy or an initiative designed by SAP that ensures the migration goes without any hiccups, right? That's what clean core means. So I'll explain in the next slide what clean core moves means, right? So this is where we definitely help customers. I mean, we have several use cases where we assist in be data preparation, migration, or even utilize robots during the migration itself. Any aspect of testing, we can help that, right? And of course, the very obvious use case for SAP is, yeah, you want to move data from within SAP, or move data, or extract data out of SAP. This is where, of course, we can help with. And you have kind of structured or semi-structured documents that you need to process and enter the data into SAP. That's where we have document processing capability using machine learning model to address that. And yeah, I mean, if customers are also currently performing manual testing and you want to automate those testing, of course, our UiPath Test Manager test automation capability help in achieving that. And also overall use AI kind of into the equation. That's where we can help customers use AI within any of the use cases to see how we can kind of benefit and help, right? And clean core, the previous slide I mentioned. So what is clean core at a high level? I'm not going into detail. So clean core is very important for SAP, especially if you're moving from an older version, primarily from the legacy ECC into S4HANA, right? This is needed to ensure scalability, right? So what this means is you should have kind of a guideline of extensions that you can do that is accepted by SAP. That's what SAP says, that you should not have any unwanted kind of extension that is not certified or that doesn't work in S4HANA or causes issues during migration, right? So when you have integrations with other systems, so you should kind of ensure this is achieved. And also, I mean, the clean core also helps with the enhanced performance. It's easy to upgrade but it's better compliant, right? So examples of, for example, there's something custom code. If you extend SAP, it's always better to comply to the guidelines of what SAP says it needs to be done in the guidelines. So that's why we can use automation if you have some intrusive form of extension that you need to achieve and it's out of bounds for SAP in terms of it's not a clean core strategy. Then you can take that out and build that as part of UiPath automation to achieve the same functionality that you intended to achieve. Instead of extending SAP, you can achieve that using various means through the automation, right? That is something, one of a basic use case that I can think of here. And in terms of the overall aspects of where we can automate or what we can automate within SAP. So it's not just limited to UI kind of automation, not limited to the legacy WinGUI. We can automate anything that SAP currently offers. So be it WinGUI, WebGUI, the modern applications that are built on Fiori and business clients, right? So this is kind of a UI-based automation, but beyond that, we also have capabilities to automate using the BAPI. This is where we have the API integration to achieve kind of API-based automations. And we have automation skills for modern SAP applications as well. For example, C4HANA, Hybris, SuccessFactors, Ariba, and so on. And we also have out-of-box capabilities, for example, activity packs for WinGUI, activity packs for SuccessFactors, and so on. And we also have native integration with if you use Solution Manager, and our test automation or test suite is completely certified with your SAP Solution Manager. And of course, any other native integrations, if your applications are running behind a VM, be it Citrix or a remote desktop, of course, our computer vision capability helps achieve those automation as well. So this is a kind of a gist of what we can automate within SAP. Of course, there are several other use cases. This is the functionality that I just mentioned. And as I mentioned previously, we also have accelerators where customers can quickly jumpstart and embark on the journey. So these are, we have out-of-box automations available in our marketplace. So this helps customers to quickly start something that are low-hanging fruits that we know most of our customers use. For example, maybe invoice matching, or two-way matching, or a three-way matching, and so on. So these are something basic that most SAP customers would use, right? So this way we have built these out-of-box automations so that customers can use it, and those can be tweaked to specific business needs as well, right? Those can be extended and expanded to your needs. So these are, of course, available within our marketplace for our UiPath customers. So if you happen to be a customer, you can just visit the marketplace and see what out-of-box capabilities that we have for SAP. And I just wanted to end with these sample use cases that I have listed here. That is, meeting all the line of business within an enterprise organization, right? So these lines of business are not industry specific. So these can be across industry specific industry verticals. Be it any kind of organization, you'll have a finance, HR, procurement, sales, and service, right? So these are a must-have. So these are some of the capabilities or use cases that we generally see with our customers that you can straight away start with. For example, in finance, invoice processing, or in HR, the onboarding, and in service, routing or reports or customer dispute resolution, and so on. So these are just a sample or example of use cases that I've listed here. But of course, we can go beyond this and explore what specific needs are. But these are definitely some of the obvious ones that we have seen most of our customers use for, and we cater for these because we have capabilities for these applications from UiPath, right? So as I mentioned, we are now a premium certified partner with SAP. That means the SAP endorses our applications. So that helps the customers to kind of straight away use our products. Right. That's what I wanted to cover as part of the SAP capabilities of UiPath. Meiche, you wanted to chip in for any quiz or anything at this point in time?
No, you can continue. We will do the quiz at the end.
At the end, okay. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so I believe I was not too fast in explaining what we have our capabilities within SAP. But of course, if you have any doubts, you can post your in the Q&A or chat, and we'll be happy to address any of your questions. Right? Okay, so moving to process discovery. This is what I mentioned in the beginning. I will explain what this is and how we can help our customers discover the unknown. Right? That's what these products are for. So just a quick kind of view of challenges and impact that we have seen with our customers. Some of our customers, generally a large organization, when you grow, what happens is you would have something documented to be processed, or a process model that works for your organization to achieve the best business objectives. But once they grow, what happens is the process transparency reduces. That means there could be so many variations in the process that is not documented. It's unknown, that might be causing longer throughput time and inefficient process. right? So that's what these challenges are, and these definitely cause these downstream impact. One is definitely your throughput times are higher, and your internal or external satisfaction, be it to your customers or employee engagement and efficiencies, are low. And these might impact to your goals because they are misaligned, and you may embark on some transformation initiatives that might not even deliver the values or the tangible benefits that you aim for, because you don't know what's actually happening in your organization, right? So these are some of the typical challenges and impact that we have seen in some large organizations. And just to give a quick a simple fact, and this is not something um, from external analysts. So this is something we have done as a survey with some of our customers. And what we have identified is, even if organization wants to um, uh, do a complete time and motion study, do to be as this process design or a time and motion study, it's involving manual means. I mean, that is definitely complex initiative. So what we have generally seen is 60% of the time is spent on the discovery itself. That means you need to arrange interviews with your users, talk to them, understand and document what they're doing, how they're doing, and so on. So that's a enormous and uh, amount of time that is spent on discovery alone, right? While only about around 20% of the time is spent on justifying the initiatives, because it takes quite a bit of uh, fact finding and condensing the amount of manual discovery information into a report or a business case to talk to your leadership team of why these initiatives needs to be kind of taken up. That's a big kind of time spent on justifying the initiatives, right? And then very less amount of time is available for you to make improvements, right? This is assuming you have an overall budget of making some improvement. The maximum amount of time is spent on discovery, very less time is spent on making the actual improvements. I mean, this is what we have seen in with some of our customers. This is really kind of not a very efficient way to kind of come up with initiatives, right? So compare that with using our process discovery tools, right? So if you use our process continuous discovery or process discovery tools from UiPath, what we have seen is you spend less time in discovery because we use scientific means, we use tools, we use AI, and the information is uh, uh, the tool is able to look at vast amount of data and analyze the information, and that gives you the information that is provided is already kind of a dashboard, or uh, uh, it could be automation potential, it could be a simulation of what savings that you can achieve. So with that, you just need to spend very short amount of time in justifying the initiatives, because all the information is coming from data, and that's what leadership believes in, and that's where we have seen customers spend less time in justifying the initiatives. So that what that leaves is you have almost bigger amount of budget or time on making the actual improvement, and that's what we want our customers to kind of achieve. And this is achieved by using our uh, continuous discovery or process discovery tools, right? So this is a very compelling story. Imagine a case where you spend 60% of time in discovering and very small amount of time in making the improvements, and compare that to 25% of time spent in discovery, and then 70% of time or budget is available for making the improvements, right? This is very compelling for any organization to think for. So earlier I was just explaining what our discovery pillar, what products we have in discovery pillar. This is just a different representation using the simple transactions. So when we talk of process mining, as I said, process mining pulls in data from enterprise application. For example, in this case, it could be SAP. So if we are analyzing SAP order to cash process, the process mining will build the process to, and the events are automatically listed in the process view. For example, it could be creation of sales order, shipping the goods, sending the invoice, and the invoice are matched, and the receipts or the payment are recognized, right? So this is a simple story of what you can look into an end-to-end process of order to cash within SAP. But if you want to analyze what exactly happens within a sales order, how are my sales team getting the purchase orders from my customers in emails? How do they convert the customer PO into an actual sales order, right? If I want to understand that task level details, then I can use task mining, right? This is where we can it can help analyze the task level details. In this example, the sales executive is opening an email where he gets a PO from customer. He enters the PO into SAP, and that's what is happening as part of creation of sales order, and it's expanded to these many details which are done not just within SAP but outside of SAP, right? That's where task mining helps, because task mining also uses artificial intelligence, machine learning model to analyze the repetitive nature of activities done here. And further to that, within the same process area, you want to analyze the various other messages or emails that are coming into your organization. That's where we can use communications mining, because it is designed to look at large amounts of messages. Classic example is emails, where you can analyze the pattern of unstructured data. For example, there could be a email about orders, and there could be a tone of urgency, or the customer is not happy, and there's a follow-up on the delivery dates and so on. So all these patterns and the intents of messages are analyzed using our natural language processing within our communications mining, and the insights can be gained within the dashboards of communications mining, or we can integrate our automations as an action from communications mining, right? So all these kind of multiple uh, means of discovery, right? That's where we help our customers achieve getting insights, not just from processes, it can be from tasks and communications. And also you can send in all these as ideas into Automation Hub, which is our kind of a crowdsourcing platform. And within this platform, a centralized team can review all the initiatives or ideas that are coming in, validate the savings potential or business benefits, and plan for your initiatives, right? The initiatives can be one, build automations, or the other one could be optimize your processes as well, right? So this is what we have something, I mean, we call it as a continuous discovery or process discovery capability that we have, right? So the next slides, I'll go deeper into process mining. That's what we have designed this webinar for. So process mining, as I previously told, it basically pulls in data from enterprise applications. So it could be your ERP systems, your CRM systems, or any other IT application that logs data in a particular way that the tool can build the process steps and identify the various metrics like throughput times, cycle times, and repetitions or variations. So that's what task mining helps. So traditionally, when you look at a process document, whatever it's been documented in your organization, it may look very lean, it may look ideal. That's what has been designed for, but you will never get to know the actual picture of what is actually happening in your organization unless you talk to the users, or unless the users are willing to explain all the variations or exceptions that they are doing, right? So that's where process mining helps to discover the unknown. For example, after receiving the invoice, until the process invoice step is taken, there could be several instances where the customer information is missing or certain setup is missing in your ERP system, right? That's where it delays the actual processing of information, right? So that's where these are visible in the system, because process mining is pulling data from your transactions, and that's where you can get a quick view of all the exceptions, all the reworks that are happening, all the inefficiencies and the bottlenecks that are happening in your process, and you can take corrective action from it. So in simple terms, process mining has its dashboard. I mean, this dashboard is available from the web URL. This application is accessible from a web URL as part of our automation platform. And the dashboard gives you a glimpse of your key information about your process, right? So in the context of a process, for example, this example is showing a procure to pay process. So that tells you how many volume of transactions this particular dashboard is pulling the data from, the view of process steps that are happening against the set filter. I mean, of course, users can set various filters. You want to analyze specific time period, you want to analyze specific type of PO, you want to analyze specific supplier or material type. So all those capabilities are available where you can view, you can slice and dice the information from this dashboard, and it gives various other important information about the process. For example, all the different ways of processes that are being executed in your organization. So these are variants and various other important metrics, right? So these could be very specific to your, or very contextual to your process. In this case, I'll be interested, if I'm procurement director, I'll be interested to know how much of my purchases are being done outside the defined SLA or outside my defined policy, right? That I can determine as something as maverick buying, right? As that's the term that we use for anything that you want to build a business rule to identify any processes that are being done outside your defined norm or outside your policy, right? That can be flagged as something non-standard, right, or non-compliant. So all these KPIs are of course customizable, and these also come with we offer pre-built capabilities for several systems and processes. So as of now, if you go to our public website, you can see we have almost 18 or 19 pre-built connectors or dashboards available within process mining. Of course, SAP is where we started, and we have a very good capability within SAP, purchase to pay, order to cash, equipment maintenance, and various other capabilities that are in pipeline as well, right? So on top of the process view, of course, the other important information is, since being UiPath is an automation company, we give customers to look at what is the automation potential by looking at the data that we have pulled in. The tool is able to provide you with the current automation rate that is occurring in the system, and then we can also use a simulation functionality to see what automation potential that you can achieve if you do certain kind of automation, right? So that's what is visible here. Of course, I'll show a video demo of process mining application so that you'll get a better picture of what it is. And yeah, of course, I think Adelia also mentioned here, we are definitely in the leader board in the analyst reports. And I'll not spend much time. Let me show you a demo of process mining. So in this example of process mining, I'm showing a purchase to pay or a procure to pay process. We pulled in data from SAP. That's what I just wanted to quickly show. And this is the automation a cloud platform where you can see all the services or applications licensed for this particular example, and I can select process mining from the available licensed product for this example. Then once I go in, I'll be able to see all the various dashboards that are visible to my login. Of course, as a user, I can be restricted to various other process views. If I'm only be responsible for purchasing, then I'll be able to see only the dashboards related to purchasing. But if I have other areas, then of course I can set the roles to see various other processes as well, right? So let me go into the procure to pay dashboard. So earlier I was telling once you come into the dashboard, you are presented with the process specific view. And in this view, I can see the end-to-end process in the graph that the tool has built automatically, right? So this is the view, right? You can see all the complex outliers that the tool is showing, and I can expand the details to see more of the variations if I want to. I can set various filters based on time period or based on various other criteria. But of course, in this example, I'm just looking at something where the average throughput time is higher compared to the previous period, and also the maverick buying or the value that I purchase outside of my defined SLA is higher than the previous period. That's what I'm interested in as an analyst. So that's what I'll quickly show you how I can see the details of this non-compliant purchasing that I'm doing. So in this example, if I go to this maverick buying, this is very specific to procure to pay process. I can see all the defined non-compliances within my organization. I can see the value of non-compliance. In this example, I can see the trend compared to the previous period that I'm looking at, and the number of items or number of PO items that are following this kind of non-standard way of doing things, right? So these can be very specific to the organization business process. So in this example, I'm looking at goods that are received without a PO approval, or goods that are received before the PO is approved. So these are kind of key criteria for me to kind of filter those two criterias and look at dollar value, right? I look at only these two criteria, and I see that there's quite an amount of that is spent on this non-compliant kind of processes, and I'll be interested to see what I can do and how I can improve this process. So in this case, as an analyst, I'm expanding the details here. You can see I'm pulling the details bar, and I can see all the various steps that are done, and why the supplier is able to deliver the goods even before the PO is approved, or PO, even when the PO is still in approval, right? So this is where I can see, and I can also do a root cause analysis, right? If I come to know what is the symptom, I can use the root cause analysis functionality to dig deeper. So in this example, I'm looking at those two criteria of my non-compliance, where the goods are received without or before PO approval, and trying to see what is causing that, right, using the slice and dice functionality of my root cause analysis. So I can put a filter based on various attributes. So in this example, I'm putting a filter on purchasing organization, and I can expand it further. I'm only looking at the purchasing organization that are significantly causing more cases, right? And I can add multiple attributes to here. So in this case, I'm looking at who is the buyer who is actually involving from this organization, who is causing this kind of anomaly or doing kind of non-standard process. So I can quickly see from here, one is clearly standing out, and I can take that information, and I can plan for the next action. So in this case, it could be a training, it could be a standardization of process that could help remove this non-standard process. And in the next step, another of my objective is to look at how I can improve my throughput time, how I can reduce my manual effort and increase the automation, right? So in this example, I'm looking at, sorry. So in this example, I'm looking at the automation potential dashboard of process mining. So straight away, process mining is able to pull in what is the current automation rate in the process activities, right? So this automation could be not just RPA kind of automation. This could be system workflows that SAP does something on its own. Then even those can be categorized as, yeah, there is some amount of automation. And if I want to kind of find out how much time I can save in a particular activity if I automate it, right? So I can easily select something that where automation currently is 0 or very less, but the manual processing cost is high. So that's where I can easily pick that particular activity and do a simulation. So in this example, what I need to provide is few information about that activity. I just need to provide what is the digital data input percentage, how many different ways of creating a purchase order, and do a simulation. And the tool will give me a simulation of, so with the current data that I provided, it is telling me that almost 78% of automation rate can be achieved with that, right? So once I'm satisfied with that, I can actually integrate this data into my automation hub, which I mentioned earlier, as a platform where I can collate all the ideas from various applications. So I can send this idea as one of my automation idea and then send this to automation hub. And then from automation hub, a central team can look at the business benefits and take that up for automation, right? And the other functionality is once I'm done with the automation, so the process mining is not just a one-time tool. We use process mining as a continuous monitoring tool, right? So if I get in new data, right, I can refresh the data every 1 hour, every day, or every week, once a week, depending on the need of the organization. I can get in new data to compare, right? So this is a good functionality to look at how is my process improvement, right? So I'm doing this by that specific user that I initially noticed during the root cause analysis was causing more of the non-compliant purchasing. So I can do the comparison between periods based on the selected filter. So in this case, a user, and the tool will compare and tell me with the color coding of what's the difference in the process and what's the trend. For example, you can clearly see here the current period. For example, Q3 2020 has improved. I mean, there's no maverick buying value that is happening, and there's 0% of non-compliant way of doing things. All right, that's an improvement that I can see here from this comparison, right? So I can use this comparison functionality not just to compare old versus new data, but I can use this to compare different PO types or different variations of POs done across countries to see why things are done differently, right? So this is a beautiful functionality that we have to kind of compare and quickly find out the root cause of the improvement areas. And of course, from these, right, from automation potential that I showed previously, you can also trigger automation directly from process mining. So that's the new functionality that we have from our latest release. That means you can kind of trigger automation for certain conditions. You can directly trigger automations from process mining itself, right? So I think that's what I had for process mining. A bit of maybe 5-10 minutes over the stipulated time. Sorry about that, but I should be able to catch up for the test suite soon. Right, so let me quickly, I believe you were able to get a quick overview of what process mining is, how it is able to visualize the processes done in enterprise applications, and how insights can be gained quickly. And I also forgot to mention, I mean, the amount of data that that is able to visualize or analyze in process mining is quite amazing, right? So this example alone is I'm looking at 40,000 PO items, but of course our platform is tested and designed to analyze almost a billion events, a billion kind of purchase order activities you want to analyze. Our tool is capable to do that. That means you can do a vast amount of analysis in a very short amount of time. Okay, so yeah, I mean, these are some of the real value that our customers have benefited from. I'm not going into these details as of now, but definitely, yeah, these are some of the tangible benefits that some of our customers have gained using process mining. Okay, so I'll move to test suite or test automation platform of UiPath. Right. So when it comes to the top C-level or leadership level priorities, how do you? I mean, most organizations looked at how do you drive innovation and growth, right, while optimizing cost. Right. So when you look at testing as a cost or a budget, right? Generally, what we have seen is almost 40% of the budget is allocated for testing from your IT budget, which is quite huge. And what we have seen from some of our consulting partners analysis is, yeah, if you at least are able to reduce the testing efforts by 20%, that means you are given that opportunity for innovation, right? That's a simple math, right? So this is if you're performing a manual testing and with using any test automation, of course, in this example is using UiPath Test Suite, you can easily achieve at least 50% of the reduction in manual testing efforts, right? That definitely frees up your budget for other initiatives like innovation. And when you look at SAP testing as in the lens of SAP testing, again similar to the generic previous metric that I mentioned, 30% of effort in SAP project implementation or even ongoing maintenance, 30% of SAP budget is allocated to testing, right? And out of this, right, testing, 72% of our, I mean, the customers that we spoke to still do or still rely on manual testing, which is quite a high number. And they also claim the number one bottleneck is basically testing is the number one bottleneck for software agile software delivery, because that creates a bottleneck in speeding up your implementations or releasing your extension and so on. Right? This is a stark reality of some of our survey or analysis that we have done with our customers. And how do we kind of improve this? Right? That's where we have our test suite platform. So test suite, the beauty of test suite from UiPath is we believe in the automation convergence, right? So what this means is if you focus on testing alone, so you build your test automation workflow using our UiPath RPA. So once those are delivered, that means you technically test in a non-production environment. But the beauty of UiPath is you can reuse the same workflow, make a bit of modification and reuse almost 80% of them and deploy it as your production automation, right? Or vice versa. You start with automation. If you're a customer who was already using UiPath RPA, you build UiPath workflow, and then you can think of, okay, I've already done this automation in my application. It could be SAP. Then you can talk to your quality team and say, hey, I have this automation. I can quickly convert this into a test automation as well, right? So that's the beauty of conversions that UiPath capability offers. That means you have both test automation and process automation capabilities that can be reused, right? That no other test automation provider currently offers. So that's a unique proposition that I can say. And when it comes to the overall capability where test suite is part of the converged automation platform, yeah, of course, yeah, we can use it. We can use most of our other platform products like process mining or task mining to kind of discover potential for your test management. Of course, we use our RPA to build the test automation workflow. The robots execute the test automation, and all those are orchestrated through orchestration, right? So all these are, I mean, we can leverage our platform products to kind of use it within our automation plus the test automation as well. And the benefits are, some of these I've listed here. So we have seen customers have 80% reduction in defects, 90% automation rates. That means you can release your automation faster because you can test your RPA workflows as well. And customers can achieve almost 70% component reuse. That means if you first plan with your production process automation, you can reuse that to up to almost 70 or 80% into your test automation as well, which of course helps our customers achieve 30 to 40% of cost reduction. And quickly giving a glimpse of what test suite in terms of test platform itself is. So test suite is a combination of products. So mostly, primarily we need Studio. That's where we build the workflow similar to our RPA workflow, and then we have the orchestrator. This is where the process is orchestrated and the robots are run. And then the robots, we use test robots for this because they need to run in non-production. And these are tightly integrated with our test manager hub. This is our UI web platform that has the test manager and various test management capabilities. The task capture is another tool that can be used to kind of record the various application testing actions, and those can be quickly built into workflow. And we have integrations and native connectors to various application lifecycle management tools like ServiceNow, SAP Solution Manager, Redmine, and so on, including Azure DevOps. And then we also have our Studio is integrated to, for example, if you are intending to do mobile application testing, we can use our integration with APM. We use Sauce Labs, Postman for API kind of testing. So all these are available from our tool set. And of course, we also have integration to CI/CD platform. For example, Azure DevOps or Jenkins, if you want to integrate the change and you have a pipeline for testing. So those can be automatically triggered from if you release a pipeline from Azure as part of the workflow or the activity. Whenever there is a testing activity that can be integrated to test management, and the test management will execute the testing, and Azure DevOps will proceed to the next step of maybe deploying the object as well, right? So this is our complete test management kind of a platform which can be deployed on cloud, SaaS platform, or on-premise using our automation suite. Right. So on top of these capabilities of the test management, we also have new capabilities that we are recently releasing. So one is specifically designed for SAP. So what we realize is, how do you kind of plan for testing, right? Which areas you need to prioritize, which areas you need to focus more, which areas you need to do more regression testing, and so on. So that's why we have a heat map capability specifically designed for SAP, wherein I'll also show a quick demo of heat map. It pulls in transactional data from SAP and uses various metrics to build this tree map, basically indicating um, um, a big size indicates that's where you're more using this module or transaction or application. And the color coding indicates whether those have already been included in UiPath test script or test set, or orange or amber color indicates whether there's a failure in the testing, right? The gray color indicates it's not part of your test script or a test plan as of now within UiPath. So this gives a quick view for quality team to plan, how do I prioritize my testing, how do I include critical business processes that are executed more often to be part of my regression test plan, right? This is what the heat map helps. In addition to heat map, within the same capability, we have something called change impact analysis. This is also very specific to SAP. So what this analyzes is, if you use SAP, there is something called SAP transports that you use to primarily move extensions or changes from a lower environment to the next environment. So for example, if you do development in dev, you want to move it to QA, you promote and migrate the objects using SAP transports. So what this tool does is it analyzes those SAP transports and builds a similar tree map indicating where the changes are occurring. And if those changes require or already have a test plan for it, it's good. Or if not, you need to include a test plan because you're changing something and you need to better test it before they are migrated to the higher environment, right? So this is where the change impact analysis capability for SAP helps as well, right? So I think with this, yeah, I mean, I think this also Adelia showed, we are also listed as a leader in test automation. I'll do a quick demo of heat map and then also show a quick demo of UiPath automation and test automation. So as I explained, the heat map is pulling data from SAP and has built this tree map. This can be based on time period. I can put filters here for time period. I can drill down. I can double click on these boxes to see other application components. Change purchase order is one of the transaction as part of Material Master. I can analyze this one. This is a largest or more often used transaction based on the volume and various other metrics. And this is already included in my test plan, and the green shows that it's already passed. All right. So in this example, I can use various other, for example, it could be sales order, it could be financial accounting, and so on. Right. So that's how I can quickly drill down and look at what's happening. For example, I can put filters for top 10 transactions, top 20 transactions. This definitely helps customers to focus on what needs to be tested rather than everything. And the color coding also helps you that, yeah, you are good that it's already been tested. If you have a different color, that means you need to include that. But this is an example of heat map settings that you can tweak. But of course, we do have recommendations on what these metrics should be, right? So I think this is a quick kind of demo of what a heat map looks like. And then it is also looking at the test scripts or test plans within test suite and the test results that have been documented in test suite to build this heat map, right? It's not just looking at SAP, it is also looking at data from UiPath, and it is condensing the information in this dashboard, which is highly useful and informative, and the quality teams can take quick action from here, right? So this helps customers to contextually plan your testing. So next demo I wanted to showcase is the overall capability of testing itself. So in this example, I'm starting with RPA workflow that is executing a robot in production. So this is not a testing workflow. This is a simple RPA workflow that is executing process in SAP, right? So in this example, there's a trigger that the unattended robot looks at 6 a.m. every day, looks at sales orders, and then it tries to call the robots, and it extracts the information from emails and uses document understanding to process the customer PO into SAP sales order, right? That's the example here. So this is what the example of the document in the email. There's a PDF, kind of a semi-structured, and once the robot is triggered, it is basically reading the email. You can see this is doing an unattended action for the email. I'll show you how the kind of UI automation looks like. For example, I can also involve human if there is any issue in the data extraction. For example, the robot is sending me an email, in this case with a link to look at some accuracy information that the tool has determined it's not good enough in terms of confidence. So this is using data document understanding, right? So once I'm satisfied, the robot will continue and it will key in the information in SAP, right? So in this case, this is using web GUI UI kind of automation. It is extracting the information from PDF and entering the sales order in SAP, right? So this is good from the user John, who is basically responsible for process automation. So he's basically looking at how to make it efficient in production. But of course, there is a person called Craig who is also responsible for quality. He's a test lead, and using the power of convergence, as I explained earlier within UiPath, Craig gets an idea that, yeah, why not reuse some of these components and convert the test work, the production workflow into a test workflow, right? So this is a view of the workflow in Studio, right? Also as a test developer, I mean, I don't need to have a separate skill set. If I'm an RPA developer, I can quickly build a test workflow. That means I'll be able to reuse all the capabilities. For example, in this example, I'm showing I can use data-driven testing. For example, it need not be a hard-coded value that I pass in the testing. I can use a file. I can use a separate data source using my data service to pass my test data so that I can test various scenarios of a test plan. Okay, let me forward this. And the workflow is very similar. So what I need to do is I just need to add the verification steps. Basically, what I need to do is once the transaction is inputted, I just need to verify if the transaction was completed or not. And in this view, I'm actually coming to the test manager, which is a web URL that I mentioned earlier. This is the test management UI of UiPath. And this is where I can also set various external integration if I want to, right? From this project settings, I can link it to Azure DevOps, Jira, ServiceNow, and so on, if I need to. And I can define my test sets here. So test sets are nothing but combining various test cases into maybe a regression testing, a smooth testing as test set, and I can trigger them from the test manager, right? So in this example, it is doing exactly the same thing that the initial production workflow was set to do. So it is keying in the execution in various UI. So let me just take you back here. So in the first case, it is doing a Win GUI kind of creation of sales order. I have a test scenario to look at. So in this, it is basically verifying whether the sales order was created or not in Win GUI. And then I have a step to verify in Fiori. This is a different modern application. The application, whether the sales order was created successfully or not. And then I'm also using Web GUI to change the sales order. There's another test scenario that's being executed, right? And how does the test tool verify the steps were passed or failed, right? That's where the test results show. I mean, what the UiPath test suite captures is once the test sets are executed, it is basically capturing various information, including screenshots, to prove that the test case was passed or a fail. It captures various annotations and assertions here. For example, it includes logs, various assertions to quantifiably prove that the test case was successful, right? So this is how you can use the conversions of John, who is designing the simple RPA for SAP to run in production. He's collaborating with Craig, who's from quality or testing. The same workflow is converted into a test workflow, and then they are able to collaborate and reuse some of the components, and they are able to test it, right? So I think I was able to give a brief of overview of what UiPath test suite is, the capabilities, and where it can be used. I think that's all I had. I think this is the last slide. So these are some of the real benefits that some of our customers have gained. Similar to process mining, I showed. I mean, these are large customers who have achieved large amount of success in using test automation, right? So I think, yeah, that's all I had from my side. Sorry, I believe I took maybe 5 to 10 minutes longer, but I believe it was resourceful and insightful for you all. And I believe if you have questions, yeah, we can probably use this time. And I believe Meishe has some quiz as of now.
Yes, thank you,
Meche?
Aris. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Aris. So we have some question in the chat box. There are several questions from the participant. If you could see the question, maybe you can help to ask to answer the question. The first question is from Pak Eko. Yeah, the first question. You want me to read it or you?
I believe some are in Bahasa.
No. It's all in English.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
Give me a second. Sorry.
From Pak Eko.
Oh, I was looking. Okay, I would like to ask below, what's the requirement to implement UiPath in SAP system, and what should we prepare for it? Yeah, definitely, it's possible for SAP ECC R3 or even the latest ECC. If you have, there's no such limitation. And in terms of the requirement, I believe there's no other requirement other than checking with your SAP, because sometimes if you kind of input or create new transaction in SAP, there could be some licensing aspect that you might need to check with SAP. That's our best guess, rather than checking with UiPath. I think it'll be better to check with SAP, because not all transactions might need an indirect kind of digital access license, but some might require. That's the only requirement I would say need to check. It again depends on the use case and whether you are creating a transaction, you're updating something, you're extracting some information, and so on. Challenges faced in project implementation. Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you kind of I'm not sure if you're already embarked on RPA or starting with the journey. Of course, we have guidelines of how to establish and go on an RPA journey. If those are followed, we have not seen any challenges in the project implementation. Of course, there are do's and don'ts, and some customers might face challenge. If you pick something very challenging upfront, that might be time consuming, and so on. So that's where we recommend to use, if you use the discovery tools, that will help you to look at the most probable ones that helps you to achieve better business benefits, right? So if you use some of those tools, it will definitely reduce the risks or the challenges in the project. Yeah, I think there's another one from Felix. SAP license. Yeah, I think I answered already. So SAP license is again, it's very specific to the nature of automation or the use case that you do, right? It's not applicable, or it's not required in all cases, but they might be required in some cases. And it's always better to engage SAP sales to verify that you don't get into any audit kind of issues. But yeah, I mean, we can also guide if there are use cases. Of course, we can check with you, we can discuss, and can tell you whether does it require or does it not require. But it's always better to check with SAP. Second question is, I want to know about the automation tool for code review self. Yeah, I mean, yeah, citizen development. Yeah, I would say UiPath RPA is designed to be low code. So it is catered for both angles of citizen development, and also the experienced developers can use it. The question about code review, I did not get it. Code review from testing point of view, or if you're a developer, you can our IDE is good. I mean, right now we also have capability of a code builder that you can see the RPA workflow in a code format as well. That is also possible right now. But I need to maybe take this question and come back on the example of how to make sure the UiPath code create based on a standard and doesn't make our system down, right? So this one, yes. Yeah, of course, we need to work with you and understand your IT guidelines or coding policies are. Generally, our robots are kind of non-intrusive, and we also have our own framework to guide you on what is the best approach for the coding itself. And of course, I mean, there are any specific use cases and examples, we can check with our team in Indonesia, and we can get back to you on any specific case. Regarding the integration, this is the third question from Denny. So this is about regarding the integration that is possible between UiPath and SAP. Is it implemented in all modules or only certain modules? As I said, yeah, integration is achieved via the automation. So I had one slide explaining we have capabilities of integrating or automating ECC or even Ariba, Concur, SuccessFactors, and various other modules as well. Because when we say automation or integration, we interact with the elements of SAP, right? It could be your fields, it could be your drop-down fields, it could be any sort of fields. So it's not specific to a module. We can automate anything if we already have the activity, right? We believe we mostly have built-in activities for most of the SAP modules and products. Next question is from Everett. Yeah, user license I mentioned. I believe, yeah, I already answered previously. And yeah, also question license from SAP side. Yeah, this is also, I think, Habib. This is also, I think, most customers are interested in licensing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, depending on the use cases, there could be licensing implications. SAP call it as digital access license or indirect digital access license that is required not just by other parties accessing SAP. I mean, SAP also ensures, even if you have a SAP Concur application, you want to do something in SAP ECC, they still need to have this digital license because you are creating a transaction. Or so that's how strict SAP might be. And it again depends on the specific nature of what data is being created or what data is being extracted from SAP. I think how about CBO program? RFC interface, yes, we do have CBO program. I need to check in terms of integration. In the EDI in heat map. Okay, so we use RFC. We have a function that needs to be deployed. Okay, specific to heat map, yeah, it basically uses a remote function call to pull in the required information into UiPath. I don't think we use CBO or EDI in that. We use specifically the RFC based remote function call capability to pull in data for heat map. Could UiPath inform the percentage also? Percentage, I did not get the context of this. Percentage of, I mean, right now, it is still in the initial version of the product, but of course, the heat map will be expanded once we release it to the customers. We'll add more functionalities to it. But I don't think, I did not get the context of it, but I'll take note of this and we can respond it back later on to you as well. Okay. The Veni Tan, there is a question about understand that you integrate with SAP more effectively. How about other system? Yeah, of course. Yeah, we do integrate, or we are capable to automate all other enterprise applications, not just SAP. It could be Microsoft Dynamics, it could be Oracle EBS, Oracle Fusion, PeopleSoft, any other thing, right? So I don't think we do have any specific challenges with that. I can confidently say that yes, we can automate Dynamics NAV, because if it is mostly a web kind of application, there's no challenge for it. Yep, I believe I address all the questions listed here, but of course we'll go through it once again, and if anything unanswered, we'll definitely reply back to you. Yeah, I believe Meishe is.
Yes, Hans, thank you
yep.
for answering the question.
Yep.
Maybe from Badal, do you have anything to add on before we go to the quiz session?
Yeah, so to reiterate what Haris said, so if you have further questions, follow-up questions, or you need information, please feel free to reach out to me or Meishe or Metrodata or MII's team. We can help you to, deep dive into your specific use cases, or, discuss in more detail based on your requirements. I think that's all from my end, Meishe.
Okay, thank you, Badal. Okay. Yeah, as Badal already mentioned, if you have any additional question, you can contact us. Maybe you can fill in the feedback form on the chat box also. We will following you up from that information. Okay, now maybe we can start with the quiz session. So the quiz will be speak the question. I will read the question, and then you can answer the question by input or chat, or sending the answer in the chat box. The one that is the first one that correctly answer the question will get the e-voucher. So we have 3 questions. The first question is, please mention one example of use cases that UiPath can help for the SAP customers. Okay, you can send the answer in the chat. Haris, is that correct? Can you help to check the answer?
Yeah, I think, yeah, in general, repetitive tasks, yes. Yeah, RPA for migration, I think that's yeah, I would say improved scalability and upgrades compliance. I think that's definitely better answer, and also RPA for migration. I would say, yeah, these two are.
Yeah, we have
definitely.
to choose one actually. So which one
Yeah.
is the most
Yeah.
scored?
Yeah, I think ECO, improved scalability, enhanced performance, upgrades, compliance. I think that definitely we specifically look at SAP, right? Most customers by 2025 or 27 need to move to S/4HANA. So that definitely is a major use case, and right, yeah.
Okay, then congratulations to Pak Eko. Pak Eko, you can like put your detail or email and contact number. We will be contacting you for the e-voucher. And then for the second question is, please mention minimum 2 technology that is included in the UiPath platform.
Or 2 modules or 2 pillars or applications as part of your platform.
Yeah, beside RPA. Okay. Okay, Haris, can you please?
Yeah, I think both are in a way correct. Test automation, low code is anyway the RPA. Yeah, test automation, OCR and AI. Yes, I would say, yeah, this one maybe, definitely.
Yeah, maybe
other than RPA, right? If you consider that one, yes, OCR is the IDP and AI center. Yeah.
Okay, so we will choose the faster one. So,
yeah, I think now everyone is getting it right.
Yeah,
I think IDP, process mining, test automation, low code apps. Yeah, everything is correct. But yeah, if you consider who mentioned it first, yeah, maybe August. That is more relevant other than RPA, because low code.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations to Pak Agus. The answer is correct. Okay, and then the third question is, please mention what kind of automation that we can do within SAP, minimum 2. I mean, how we can do the automation in the SAP with what kind of technology?
Yep, I think Michael Thanu, I think that's the right one. Modern SAP applications or SAP API integrations. Yeah, these are, I would say, the correct, yeah, at least two is listed here. So the example, WinGUI, WebGUI, Fiori, Fiori is a modern application, and then API integration using BAPI, RFC, right? So those are the ways that we can interact with SAP and do the automation. I think, yeah, Michael Tano is correct.
Okay, thank you, Haris. Congratulations to Pak Michael. So for all the 3 winners, please like drop your email and contact number information in the chat. We will be sending the e-voucher through that email. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's all for the webinar today. Thank you, Mbak Adelia, and thank you, Haris, for the time. Hopefully the session is insightful enough for you, for all the participants. And yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
weekend. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.